Welcome back, everyone. So what did you have? What question did you have? Do you know?
Oh, it was about like COVID. Do you think people like are less happy or more happy? Like, how did that change society?
Oh,
There's a
yeah.
mental illness. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying that's a good question. Yeah.
There's a mental illness called zootrophy or zootropy that is where people have become mundane. It's the same thing. Okay, so animals get a certain level of depression in the zoo where they can't the joy that
Right.
they feel is there's a roof.
Right.
And so your receptors in your mind, you have receptors and they send signals between each other. They get dulled by lack of activity. So
That makes sense.
Americans are starting to experience this where everybody's starting to feel like this shit is more of the same than it's ever been. It's never been the exact same print every day as it has been. Now, if you look back to the 90s, how things were, every day wasn't just identical. Every day, even when you look outside, it seems as if it was more colorful.
Right.
The sky, the sun, the nighttime, the animals, the cars, the colors that we wore, everything seemed to be so much more, and now everything feels so dull.
Do you think?
Is that because maybe you're becoming out of the
Yes.
younger stage? You growing up and you getting older.
It's
and
somewhat that, but I also
life
believe
is
that all of us are
lifing.
accepting. It could be lifing, but I do believe that all of us, our ability to perceive the brightness has been dulled across the board. All of us are experiencing, like this is the first thing that all of us ever experienced the exact same thing at the same time.
Right.
Right.
Do you
It was-
think? Do you think also social media has something to do with?
Yes.
Because so for certain things I do agree with social media, but a lot of the things like I see social media as evil because like especially for younger kids because when they see a post or something they think they have to act as that celebrity or they have to
Yes.
look as that celebrity, you know?
And it also took away from language itself.
Right.
You ever sat there and put LMAO with a straight face or laughing emojis and
Yeah.
or LOL? Like there's like a I don't want to. There's like a way that you have to text people to make sure that they're comfortable with something you say. Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh man,
Yeah.
I didn't think you meant that. LOL.
Right.
Like I have a hard time doing that. I don't do that. So then I don't know. Like you know what I
That's the
mean?
thing, man.
Yeah.
Communication is just
Fake.
it's just different. You know what I mean? People interpret it different. Pick up the phone. You know what I mean? Because like you said, text messages.
Can be read differently.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like what you're saying, pick up the phone. You have to actually call this person and be like, "What did you mean?"
Yes.
Put some
Because-
emotion behind it.
Right.
I'm big on calling. A lot
There
of
you
people
go.
are
Yeah,
not big
right,
on calling.
right. same.
Right.
I'm big on calling, man. I leave voice messages and stuff. Not voice message, but voice text. Like not
yeah.
text to voice, but voice message where
No,
I
like the
so that they
voice
can
message.
hear me.
Right,
Yes,
right, right.
yes.
Yeah.
I do that too. I like that actually.
Yes.
Because
and,
you
and you
can
know,
hear.
and you know what's crazy nowadays? People don't ring the doorbell anymore. They just like text. You know,
I'm outside.
you know, like I'm outside. Like
Yeah, I'm outside.
Like before, it was like, oh, you ring the door. You know, it's like, damn.
I'm
like,
guilty of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Text and say I'm outside. I knock on people's door. Like my wife talks about that I'm like old, bro. Like everything I do is old. Like you know what I mean? Like I
Old
listen to
soul.
Like
old
old
music.
school?
Yes,
Oh,
that's
okay.
all I listen to is old. I prefer old cars. I like old music. I listen to Marvin Gaye and
nothing
Jimi
wrong with that,
Hendrix
you
and
know?
Yeah.
Al Green.
I
But
like
I
to
grew
say
up in
about
the
old
rap
soul.
era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Old
is.
soul.
It is
Yeah,
an
yeah,
old
yeah,
soul.
yeah.
Even the
Oh,
food I
cool.
like to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I'm
Old
not.
school.
I don't go to In-N-Out Burger. I'd rather make a steak on the grill or something. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
right, right.
but yeah, nah. But we were talking about during the
Happiness.
break. We were talking about happiness, and we
Yes.
were talking about cultures
Cultures, yeah.
and why some cultures are one way in America and the impact that they have, and why some cultures are without. Like I remember we were talking about why you don't see people of certain descent amongst the homeless. Like you don't see as many like Indian or
yeah.
Pakistani as homeless. You might not see as many. You see some Asian, but you don't.
But
see
very
it.
little.
Well,
Yeah, very
it's
little.
not as many of them as there are
That's
blacks.
what right.
I'm
the
gonna-
per
Yeah.
capita thing.
I'm gonna tell you why.
So per capita.
This is what I think
Mm-hmm.
is people who come from other countries here, they know how hard it is in their countries. So when they come here, they work so hard to succeed in life, because they don't want to go to back to their old countries, where it's like miserable, because this is a great country. Don't get me wrong, and the crazy thing is like a lot of Americans don't see that it's a great country, but for me as a foreigner, it's an amazing country. Give me so much opportunities, that
But
I
you
wouldn't
know
have.
what I don't like about that?
Mhm.
It's people that come from here from other countries, and because they come from other countries, they like put Americans down because they think they are better and they work harder than Americans.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like
Oh, like you're saying
Africans.
foreigners.
Africans,
Africans?
Yes.
To be specific,
Yeah.
Africans. A lot of Africans and black people don't get along.
Yep,
Yeah, I have heard that before. Yeah,
that's true. But they
the-
come here with a complex of superiority.
right.
But the thing is this, and this is with respect and regard to, because I'm big on history, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could tell.
This is the thing when people come here. See, look, have you ever went to eat some food somewhere and your friend is like, I eat that all the time, and that shit's not that good, but because it's new to you, because the flavors are new and you've never had this is everything. That's how it is in America. See, we as a people, we have such a long-standing beef with America that people from other countries could never. So people, we talk about
They don't
slavery, right?
understand.
We talk about slavery, right? And people think that as soon as slavery ended, we were free to go,
Right, but you're not.
and that did not happen.
Right.
No.
You can literally find prison codes where they made certain crimes that were in proximity specifically to black people. They knew that black people fresh out of slavery were hard to hire because of the lack of literacy. It was not by choice that they could not read. You can literally look up these facts in the Smithsonian or in the Washington, D.C. Library. It's online, the National Library, right? It was illegal for a slave to own books.
Right.
You could be beaten to death for
Right.
having books in your house.
Or right.
Right. Getting caught writing.
All right.
So now you have these people who you have quote unquote set free, but they can't find actual employment because they're uneducated, right?
Right.
Now you can go to jail for loitering. The law of loitering came into fruition immediately after slavery because of black men standing around in public.
Right, because what
Loitering-
else are they gonna do?
No loitering, no trespassing.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't stand in front of this store if you're not buying anything. I was talking about my dad. I wanted to knock this, and then I know I'm long-winded, right? My father lived in Mississippi before he moved to Chicago. My father was born in 1945. He was old. He just passed away last year. My father moved to Chicago when he was 8. For those 8 years that he lived in Mississippi, if a white woman or white man walked on the sidewalk, he had to get off the sidewalk, stand in the street, wait for them to pass by, and they had what you call the law of reckless eyeballing. Everything I'm gonna tell you guys will always be something that you can Google. It is not a conspiracy. He had to put his head down and say, "How you doing, son?" and wait for them to pass, and then get back on the sidewalk and go to the store. Now this law wasn't in regard. The second law I'm gonna talk about, it was more of a cultural thing. It was not on paper, but he could not occupy a store while a white woman was shopping. So if he went to the store to go and buy sugar, buy eggs, buy milk, and she was in the store, he had to turn right around and wait outside until she left to go in and buy the things that he needed.
My goodness.
Now these
wow.
are cultural things that America was predicated on.
Right.
There was a civil war where people were willing to fight and die to keep this group of people in a certain place. People were willing to die for that idea. Now, should I believe that the guys in the Senate and the Congress who are 70 and 80 years old do not have these same ideologies, but they pass our laws?
It's crazy.
But they're 80 years old.
That coming to that, like, it's crazy how these like people like who are basically about to die, controlling
Right.
our like,
What stake do you have? in it?
right? Like,
How are you writing laws?
I
if you're
think
90
I
years
think
old?
I think like more like younger people should be
In government.
right? But the problem is younger people are not voting, and the older generation is voting, so they think like in the older. There's like they're stuck in the old ways.
I don't think that that they're not voting. I believe that Americans have become disillusioned, as the rest of the world have. Voting it just doesn't seem real.
Voting is like, it don't seem real.
Because I know how many times I've seen people vote for this or that, and it never seems
never
like the guy
matters.
everybody
Right, the
asks
vote-
for.
It
Yeah.
never matters.
It's always the other guy.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to come back after the short break. Yeah.